G'day and welcome to Insights and Storytellings with me, Moon Willow. Thank you very much for being a part of my life and being a part of the journey that is the storytelling. I really appreciate it, and the contributions you make to me doing this by adding your energy to it, it makes a huge difference. So sort of leading on from yesterday in looking at manifesting and the conditions that we sometimes put onto those manifestations. Really being grateful that through that I ended up having a really wonderful 24 hours of flow, and where things just synchronistically went from one thing to the next. And within that, I was reminded of the power of our voice, and the voice not just of the voice that I'm using at the moment to speak with you, but also our internal voice and how that co-creates the world that we live in on an external level, and allowing the flow to just be and staying in that moment, because it's very tempting if things are going right to question that and almost trip ourselves up, and also we can end up having that internal dialogue of, oh, well, this is going right, but what's going to go wrong next? And sort of almost bringing that about and bringing that into being without meaning to. So that's partly where my thoughts have been today, and also sort of really aligning with ourselves, really trusting the universe, really connecting with Earth and the source energy, not tomato sauce. Just thought I'd clarify that. And really having that mix and alignment, which I find helps extend that flow ability and being able to experience the world from a very synchronistic point of view, and trusting that the universe is going to provide what we need, trusting ourselves that we're going to respond in a way that is the most benefit to us. We can't control other people. All we can really do is live our lives in a manner that feels the most comfortable for us, and by doing that and living our truth and living fully as ourselves in alignment, that other people may notice and start asking us about it. So moving forward themselves by but witnessing that these things actually work, that by being in alignment and connected, that we can actually step away from fear, step out of stress and anxiety, but actually start flowing in a manner that I believe is available for all of us. No tricks, no conditions, that actually we can just flow from one thing to the next. So on that note, we will see which crystal would like to be, or chakra would like to be heard in regards to this. So got clear quartz. So really our crown, and the clear quartz is really having a crystal clarity, and really understanding that we create our own world, that we're responsible, and we chose the lives that we were born into, that we can get caught up with trauma, and that's okay, that no child should ever live through things that sometimes that they see, but then if we believe that we choose that before we come into our world, into our lives, and I'm not condoning certain behaviours, but it's almost that soul knew in a way what it's getting into. And even now, knowing everything that I've been through life, I wouldn't change a moment of it, because I really appreciate and love the person I am today. And I realise that I have more work to do, and there's different layers, and there's an ongoing process. And sometimes that's really tiring, and sometimes I feel enough's enough, why me type thing. But I try not to step into that energy too much. So with the crown as well, it's very much really connecting into the universe, into the universal force, into source energy, and things that are bigger than us as an individual, but nothing's bigger than us. It's a real paradox. But for me as well, it's about connecting into that thing that's larger, into what we're co-creating, the world that we would like to step into and be a part of, and really experiencing that we're not alone, that even in those moments of pure loneliness where we think that we're battling by ourselves, it's recognizing that there is, whether that be our higher self or a universal energy, etc., that there is another aspect, there's another part that we can actually draw on, that we aren't really by ourselves, that we have internal resources and connections that actually help walk us through, and also that's coming from earth energy as well, and really connecting in, really noticing those connections around us and seeing how they nurture us and support us. So watching the birds at the bird feeder for me is one of those that really nurtures me. I enjoy giving them food and watching them consume that food, because I know that they're nurturing my soul by bringing me joy, while I'm nurturing their bodies by giving them food. And it's that real weaving and interwovenness part of it as well. And then just sort of like really noticing sort of the rain is giving the greenery, grass, etc., an opportunity to grow, because you need the water. The sun is actually part of that, and just noticing the interconnectedness between all things at the same time, and looking at sort of the world that we're co-creating as well. So we'll see sort of what cards come through to match up with this, if at all. I'll split them. Let's see what else wants to come out. So the three cards are the heart, fox, and basket of flowers. So what straight away came out for me was there are times when we feel like we have to be cunning about protecting our heart space from different people, from experiences. So it's really being aware of that, but connecting source and allowing that to settle into the heart, and giving us more love, more support, more nurture. So from our higher selves as well, and really recognizing that's helping to feed and support our heart. And that if we're being cunning or blocking off different aspects of that, we're actually denying ourselves that extra support and that additional love and nurturing that is coming from source and earth. But witnessing and using the clear quartz to look back and acknowledging that at those times when we shut down our heart, we felt like we didn't have any other choices, and that's okay. But it's putting that in its rightful place. Looking forward though, what I'm drawn to is because we've got the basket of flowers next to the fox, and it's almost so as we're going forward in this world, we're making decisions that will conflict and be contrary to people around us. So sometimes we may feel like we need to be a little bit cunning in our relationships and how we keep that healthy balance within, which is coming from the basket of flowers. It's a heart health, and sometimes it is being aware that some of the rhetoric that's coming in is not true, not real, and isn't for our benefit, and can be a cunning manipulation of our emotional health, and the current narrative would lead us to suggest that we live in a certain way and live in fear and live with stress and anxiety. But it's being aware that we don't have to we don't have to do that. We don't have to listen to that, and that manipulation, that information that we're given, that comes straight into our heart, makes us feel fearful, creates sort of different emotional responses, can actually bring about disease and disharmony, and is actually not healthy for us. So we may end up at the same time having to react and respond in a cunning way as well, and almost appear to be following the narrative in certain situations so that we protect ourselves whilst trying to walk our own path at the same time. But also at the same time enabling that source energy through the crown chakra to really help guide us and be more complete and open. And I think as well what the cards are saying is to be aware of those situations where you feel like you have to be cunning, that you are not being fully clear, that you're not feeling able to speak your truth or be your truth, and having a look at how that resonates for you, and how you can change that, how you can walk away and go in a different path, so that you can maintain a full health within, and utilizing that additional support from source energy and from earth at the same time. Yeah. So I know this is quite a shorter one, and it feels pretty much all that particularly wants to come out at the moment, but continuing to follow your heart's desire, trusting in source, trusting in the universal energies to enter into a flow to manifest the type of life. And as we do that more often, we will maintain our healthy equilibrium. We can actually access good health. We can access health from a physical, emotional, spiritual, behavioral point of view, and really be supported and connected going forward. So part of the reason why this is a bit shorter is this is actually the third one I've done, and I am running out of time for the rest of my evening. And I am hoping that this has recorded all the way through, because I would like to put something out. But it makes me curious about my own story at the moment, because I was in such brilliant flow for the past 24 hours, as I say, and then I've had difficulty in recording this. So that's my curiosity and my story. So I will spend some time around that. In the meantime, I'm going to see what sound comes through for us to, what the universe sound-wise wants to come through with. thank you ever so much for joining me and bearing with this particular storytelling today. With a bit of luck, I will be back tomorrow, and it flows better tomorrow with a bit of luck. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I look forward to joining energy with you tomorrow. Take care. Love you all. Bye for now.